Hello and welcome back to our training where we talk about how you can get more done in less time using the power of Prosperity Central. And on our training today, we're going to continue talking about Phone Burner and how you can use that tool with Prosperity Central so that you can make more calls in less time. Seriously, 60 to 80 dials per hour on average. And more specifically, we're going to talk about what to do with those people who are just not yet interested in our product or opportunity. But before we get into that, once again, my name is Jeff Osnes. I am your host, I'm your trainer, I am your tour guide as we go through this Prosperity Central system. And what is the Prosperity Central system? It is an online contact management system designed to help you manage, organize, and follow up with your prospects in an effective and efficient way. It was specifically designed for the network marketing industry. However, anyone in sales can really benefit by taking advantage of this tool. So if you know somebody in sales or network marketing, take a moment now and share this video with them so they can start to learn about this amazing tool. Now let's get into our training today. Now, once again, like I said, we're going to continue talking about Phone Burner and how that can help us get more done in less time by powering through our calls at a rate of 60 to 80 dials an hour. And more specifically, we're going to be talking about all those people, well, hopefully not a lot, right? But those people who tell us they're not interested. You know, whether we're talking to them about our product or service, you're going to run into people who are just not interested right now. In my opinion, not interested means not interested today, not interested forever. So let's jump over to marketing. We're going to go down to Phone Burner. We're going to go to our Phone Burner settings, then to dispositions. And in this case, we're going to be editing the default live answer set copy. This is the one we created the other day. We're going to edit that. And we're going to go down here to the not yet interested button. You can see it's kind of a bigger button right now. We're going to edit that. Let's get rid of that break. Make it a slim button. So not yet interested, indicating that, in my opinion, they're not yet interested, but give them another month, 2 months, 3 months, they'll probably be interested, right? Okay, so what do we want to do here? The first thing we want to do is we want to get them moved out of our main prospecting list. Remember, everything starts in our campaign one, at least for this specific example that we're running through. Everything starts in our campaign one folder. And if they tell us they're not interested, we got to get them out of there. We can't let them sit in there anymore because we don't want to call them again in a couple more days. We need to get them out. So that's what we created the C1 not interested folder for. So we're going to go ahead and move those contacts. When we click that disposition, we're going to move them into the not interested, the C1 not interested folder. Now, you could potentially also send them an email. However, in my opinion, there's no point in sending them an email right now. We just had a conversation with them. They said they're not interested. I'm not going to send you an email and, oh, by the way, in case you change your mind, here's some information. Nope, I'm going to leave them alone. Respect their wishes, but then in 2 or 3 months, 4 months, 6 months down the road, they should pop up on my list again so I can follow up with them. So once again, we're going to move them into the folder. Next action, not next number, next contact. And of course, this option really only matters if the contact has multiple phone numbers. If your contacts have one phone number, it doesn't matter what you choose there. I'm not going to add any tags in this particular case. Not going to add them to my do not call list. I'm not going to delete them. I'm not going to delete their number. I will leave it as a connected call and, of course, webhooks we're not talking about yet. We're going to pretend that doesn't exist yet, but there's a lot of cool, powerful things that we can talk about on that, and we'll get into that at some point in the future. So let's go ahead and save changes. And there you go. You can see our button is now nice and flat, not yet interested. Moves those contacts into our C1 not interested folder. So let's jump over to contacts. What does that do for us, right? We're making our calls in Phone Burner. We click that disposition. Let's go ahead and just make a few calls. We have a little bit of time here today, so I'm going to make a few calls. Let's go in and hit the Phone Burner button. We got 74 records here in our C1 call one. We're going to use our default dialing set copy, our default live answer set copy. Those are the two that we've been customizing. We're going to continue. We're going to get connected into the system. And once again, one of the great things about phone burners, it doesn't require any special equipment. You use the dialer with your regular phone, your cell phone, your home phone, your office phone. Doesn't take any special equipment. So now I'm connected. I'm going to go ahead and hit start dialing. And now I'm calling Hawkeye. Once again, if I hit no answer, we move on. If we get a live answer, we talk to them, no pause, no delay, no awkward silence. We just hit live answer at some point and then hit end this call when we're done talking to them. And so here you'll see our buttons. They are interested, follow up, and not yet interested. We haven't talked about these two quite yet. But if I click the they are interested button, they move into our interested folder. Let's go ahead and click on live answer and the call. If I click on the follow-up button, they're going to go up in the follow-up folder. But before we do that, we should remember we need to set a follow-up date. So if I talk to Martian Manhunter, interesting name, and he says, give me a call back sometime next week, I might choose Wednesday as my follow-up date and then click the follow-up button. And of course, don't forget to add detailed notes about the conversation. Let's go ahead and hit live answer and the call. And let's say Shadowcat was not interested. Add a little note about the conversation and then hit not yet interested. Now let's go ahead and end dialing. I'm done. Here's a summary of what we did. Close that. Refresh our C1 call one. We'll see our list drops based off of the contacts that we called. So we just called X number of contacts. Our C1 call one list is now smaller. But that does not immediately affect our C1 call again save search because these contacts were called today and we don't want to call them again today. So they're not going to show up here. They will only show up in the C1 callbacks if their callback date is today or older. So none of those qualified. And then we've got our C1 NI calls. So if you remember when we created this save search, this is looking for any contact in the not interested folder that hasn't been called for X number of days. So let's edit the save search. And you'll see we've got it set for 120 days. So if the contact hasn't been called for at least 120 days, it will not show up in that save search, even though if I go to the not interested folder, our contact will live there. It'll just sit there for 120 days and then pop up in our C1 NI calls view or save search. So once again, when we build this out, we're building it in a way to where we don't have to think about necessarily the folders on a daily basis. We build out our quick views. So we just have to clear those pipelines. Our focus, our goal should be every day that we're making X number of calls or we're clearing pipelines. 69 calls, bust that out in an hour and I'm done with it. C1 call again, I've got 9 calls, bust that out in 10 minutes and I'm done with it. C1 callbacks, got 2 of those. Bust that out in a couple minutes. C1 NI calls, nothing. We move on. Once we've cleared all of these pipelines, then we know we've done our job for the day. And of course, if we did it really fast, then we may want to go out there and start getting some more prospects so that our pipelines remain full. All right, so that is it for our training today. As you can see, Prosperity Central is here to help you boost sales and growth. It is a super simple system that helps you present your opportunity, organize your contacts, and track those contact activities so you know who to focus on and when to focus on them. There is a 2-tier affiliate program built into the system so that you can start building a second income stream, all while helping your team take advantage of tools they should be using anyway. It is mobile friendly and it is priced just right. Now, speaking of price, there are 3 account levels: basic, professional, and premier. Basic account, free for life. That's so that everybody on your team has no excuse not to have a Prosperity Central account. Everybody should have a Prosperity Central account. But for those that are serious about building an income, they should upgrade to the professional. $24.95 a month gives them everything they need to manage, organize, and follow up with their prospects. And then for your team leaders, they should upgrade to the Premier account. $49.95 a month gives them tools that they can use to create customized content in Prosperity Central and then share that content with their organization, making them extremely duplicatable, including giving them the ability to create a training page in the system for their organization. Now, if you don't have a Prosperity Central account, go get one today. Go to prosperityscentral.biz. Once again, prosperityscentral.biz. Go there now and set up your Prosperity Central account so that you can start getting more done in less time using the power of Prosperity Central. Thanks again, and happy prospecting.